Hey, what's going on? Here with Sully with Broke It Racing. Basically, starting this YouTube channel to go over my trials and tribulations with my car, uh, Ghost XI. So, little background on myself. Started off, want to say roughly 20 years ago, building and racing Hondas. Got out of that, stepped away from cars for a good minute, came back, first car back, E46, BMW, 330 Ci to be exact. If you've ever had one, you know they're decent cars, marginally fast, nowhere near as fast as the M3 variant, but decent cars. Only issue is, the rear end, if you put any power through it, will tear itself apart. So didn't really have the car long enough to get that far. Blew a head gasket. Spoke with a friend of mine. He works on high-end cars. Pretty much told me, you're stupid if you try and fix the head gasket. You might as well just get a new engine. So what started off as an engine search turned into another BMW. Stupid, right? So without further ado, here's the Ghost. All right, just wanted to go over a few tools you might want to get beforehand that are kind of specific to this car, or just some tools that are really handy to have when dealing with this car. First thing you really want to get is an inverted Torx set. I think the one that I bought went up to about a size, I think it's a E16. One Torx that you'll need that probably won't be the set you'll have to purchase separately would be an E18. I believe you need that for your transmission bolts. So make sure if you can get that E18. Some other things you'll need, T60 Torx. I believe you use that when you're loosening the belts. Some of the plugs specifically for your front differential. This is a 14. Need a specific spark plug socket. See if I can clean this off real quick. 14 millimeter. And I just bought a few H8. Be useful to get. Six. T50 hex. And a 5. Another one that'll make your life easier is a short. Make sure it's a short one, 3/8 with a box end. There'll be a bolt on the back of the transmission. This makes it super easy to get to. If you still have your stock inlet, that's going to be in the way and it's going to bother you. But even with this short one, you should still be able to get to it. You'll want some big boy wrenches. Got a 22 and a 15/16, and you use those for your suspension parts to take apart. lower control arms and stuff, you'll want to have a 36 millimeter. This is for your axle nut. With this, you want to make sure you got a good, reliable breaker bar. Make sure you have a good set of pick tools, because you know, a lot of the clamps and stuff on there, they're a pain in the butt to get to, and these pick tools, they do a little bit better job than you're you know, using a flathead screwdriver. Fuel stuff, when you have to take the fuel ring off to change out your fuel pump, this really comes in handy instead of sitting there whacking at it with a screwdriver or a chisel. So these are just a few tools that I can think of right now, but you know, if anything else comes up, of course, I'll point it out, something you might want to pick up. But these are just a few tools you want to make sure that you have before you start. That'll make your life a whole lot easier. So of course, when you start your engine swap, first thing you do is pretty much unhook the battery. After that, the next thing you want to do is drain all your fluids. Oil, antifreeze. Since we have a front differential, drain the fluid out of that, because as soon as you pull the axles, it'll go everywhere if you don't. If you can get to the power steering fluid to get it out of there, you can do that, or wait and do it later. But yeah, it's pretty much where you start. As you can see, I've already got kind of a head start. I took the intake manifold off. Alright, after you drain all the fluids out of the car, you want to make sure you start taking the wiring harness apart. Some people will pull the wiring harness out of the loom over here from the DME. What I like to do is take the wiring harness, unplug it. That way you get to see the condition of all your plugs, and pull everything out, bring it over here to the side. You should be able to pull pretty much all the wires out of the way. Only wire you really won't be able to get completely out and out of the way is your transmission cable. That plugs in up under there, and it's kind of difficult to get to, so it's really not even worth trying to reach up in there and screw it loose and everything. Just try your best to pull it off to the side, and make sure it's not damaged when you get ready to pull the engine out. Another tip is, if this is your first time doing it, or you're not comfortable with it, get you some masking tape and just write on there, you know, some type of a marking system to let you know where the cables came out, where they should go back to. It's the best way to do it, as far as I've seen. Especially all of these wires over here, like the ones from this side of the engine, I probably won't mark because I'm pretty confident about where they go. But over here, as you can see, it's a little bit more of a spaghetti confetti mess. So I'll probably mark those before I start unplugging them, just, you know, since it's like only my second time doing this. So just a little note, you know, you want to make sure you keep everything straight. Note, one part of the wiring harness you probably won't be able to get out is the wires that go to the water pump. They're tucked in behind there, and there's a lot of stuff in the way. So what I do is when I get the hoist on the engine and start lifting it out, before I pull it all the way out, I'll unplug that, because then once the engine's up, you can reach it. So that's something to keep in mind. The tabs on my headlight are broke. It's supposed to be a tab that comes here and bolts up there, so, you know, it's not really any point in me making any video showing how to take the headlights out, but that's probably the most, you know, time-consuming part of taking the front end off. With your crash bar, you can see those. There's 2 bolts up here, 2 down here. It's the same on both sides. And your core support, got a bolt here, and same on the other side. That's pretty much where everything bolts at, and then your radiator and everything can usually come out in one piece. So I guess before you do most of that, you want to take the radiator fan out. That's only got a couple of bolts holding it in. You got one right here, and should be another one. You have to forgive me, I have a CFS Racing radiator fan, so it might be a little bit different from the stock version. But once you get that bolt off of there, you should be able to pull that out. Once you get all the fluids drained, once you get most of the wiring harness undone, and you have the front end off, more than likely you want to start in on taking the accessories off. Just makes it simpler for the engine to pull out. You don't have to worry about it bumping into anything. While you're getting your accessories off, another good thing to do, if you got the time, is swap out your power steering pulley, plastic, for a aluminum one. What can happen is your power steering can shred your belt, this plastic piece. The belt gets shredded, and then it'll suck itself down into the back side of your crank pulley here, and it can push its way into your front main seal, which will of course can cause catastrophic failure of your engine. So that's step one of protecting yourself from the dreaded belt shred. All right, to get the starter out, you're going to need an E12 Torx bit, and get it focused here. Put it on this guy right here. Comes out pretty easy, but on the back there, that's where that 3/8 I mentioned at the beginning of the video comes in handy. Stick it on the bolt back here. And that's how you get that guy out. I'm gonna leave the video off here. Next video that's probably coming up will probably be what refurbishment you should do to a new engine when you get it. The only thing I probably won't be doing to the engine is the front and rear seal, unless I look at the engine and it looks like it needs a front. What's happening? As I was saying before I got interrupted, I'll look at the engine and see if the front and rear main seals need to be replaced. I haven't really seen too many people complaining about their seals going out, so as long as nothing's crazy going on with that, we'll probably just leave it like it is. So it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna get out, try and do something else. As you can see, I'm freaking dirty as hell, so hop in the bathtub and maybe see if my daughter want to go fishing or something like that. So y'all be easy, stay on the lookout for the next video.